was walking around making all the decisions and determining what was happening in our country. So she was just sitting back with her feet up, kicking it.
Word.
Talking to Doug. Hey, Dougie. What do y'all think? What do y'all think that they've been doing over this last 3.5 years? While Tulsi was getting added to the terror watch list, and Andre Dickens and Fannie Willis was going up there to meet inside of the White House where it says they met with the vice president. What do y'all think that they was just doing? You think y'all was just hanging out, Oval Office, having lunch, planting flowers, meeting with the alphabet community and all of these people in order to have a celebration on the White House lawn? Jesus Christ.
We as Americans must stand together to reject this anti-freedom culture of political retaliation and abuse of power. We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future. I am proud to stand here before you today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. If you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do, I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people.
And people are mad at that. They are mad at rogue-looking Tulsi because she first obliterated Kamala Harris in 2019 and absolutely dashed her hopes in ever becoming president of the United States of America until they gave her to us as a DEI hire. And now she's switching sides and she's saying, listen, I don't care about party politics. I only care about who's best as president of the United States of America and why we should vote for them. Here's some more context as she showed up on Fox News to have a conversation with them about why she endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Joining us now is Tulsi Gabbard, former 2020 Democrat presidential candidate and Fox News contributor. Tulsi, you were there today along with President Trump. How important was it for him to be there today?
You know, one thing that ran through my mind as I was there, joining President Trump and honoring the ultimate sacrifice that these 13 service members paid, sharing the sorrow that these Gold Star families still feel and will always feel at the loss of their loved ones. Meanwhile, where is Kamala Harris? Where is Joe Biden? Well, Joe Biden's on vacation, and Kamala Harris is running a campaign based on joy and vibes and laughing her way around. I can tell you who wasn't laughing were those families. There's some of the survivors of that attack in this disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. This is personal for me, Judge, and so many other Americans who know firsthand the cost of war. We've seen and experienced it firsthand. We know how important it is to have a commander-in-chief who values every single one of our lives and who has the strength and the courage to exercise all means of diplomacy, meeting with dictators, allies, adversaries, partners in the pursuit of peace, recognizing that war is always and should always be a last resort. I endorse President Trump today because he has those qualities and he's proven that he is that commander-in-chief. Kamala Harris has proven she is not. We're closer to the brink of nuclear war now than ever before, closer to World War III because of Harris and Biden and their policies.
Let me ask y'all a question. I see my dog Eric Daniels and Aaron and all of them. I see all of these people feeling some type of way about it because if she didn't endorse Kamala Harris, y'all would have been celebrating it, but she didn't, and so that's the way that it goes. Here's my question to y'all. Since the Democratic National Convention, and we know that Joe Biden did one way in, one way out. He was gone. He was there on Monday. He was gone on Monday. He was there on Monday. He was gone on Monday. We ain't seen Joe. We don't know what Joe doing. Joe is allegedly on vacation, even though we got turmoil all across the board and all across the United States of America. Here's my question. Where is Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? Since the Democratic National Convention,
I know you've been there
Right?
already,
She
but
gave
Pooh
her
just
speech
called
on
said I can
Thursday.
come
We
through and get a
believe it on
tour of Dre's
Friday.
studio as a
It's
thank you
Tuesday.
for what we did for him.
JD Vance and pulled
Lamar
up on
crazy
NBC.
ass her, so
Trump
you
is
know
over
that
there in
fool gonna
Detroit.
be there too. But it's gonna be cool.
They
We'll
everywhere.
do it
They
whenever it's
all
good for
across
you.
America.
Man, I'm
Sometimes I don't know
excited for
whether or not
this.
they on the West Coast or
Look,
the East
bring a
Coast.
friend if you like. This
They
one gonna hit
crisscrossing the
different,
country.
all
They
right?
pulling up to the ops.
Peace,
They
homie.
taking questions. They honoring troops. They having conversations. They getting endorsed. They met up with RFK and then they met up with Tulsi right after that and got both of their endorsements. Here's my question: Where the F is Kamala and Tim Walz right now?
Damn, baby. How much just to play with your
Ain't
teeth?
took a question. Ain't met with a reporter. Ain't had a conversation. Just ran out. Listen, we did a good speech. I will give you that. Kamala Harris did an invigorating speech. Didn't have any substance, but it definitely resonated apparently with the voters. My question: Where they at? Where they at though? Where are
Now
they
I want to
at?
hear a big cheer. She's one of our new
And when
girls,
are they going to
the
take a
beautiful
question?
Nikki. Yeah.
What the fuck? Get off!
It's the Biden basement strategy and it works. Where they at though?
Shit.
Where they at?
Biden got 81 million votes from the basement. I guess they're gonna do a disappearing act and get 90 million votes.
Nobody can ever say that again that Trump has ever dodged any smoke from anybody, and JD Vance is the same. JD Vance like, what up though? What's going on? Where they at? Where they been at for the last 5 days?
You know, Chelsea, a mother of one of the slain troops spoke out against Kamala Harris today. Take a listen.
Vice President Harris is now running to be commander-in-chief. I wonder, do you have a message for her?
You're with the whole administration in all of this. You hold the same accountability as President Biden does. You were right beside him in making these decisions. This administration has tried to sweep it under the rug, and that's absolutely not going to work for this nation.
You know, Chelsea, your response to that?
You know, I want to know if Kamala Harris has personally called every one of these 13 families and the families of those who came home injured. There was a
Nope, she only called the black families. The lady that recently got killed by the police officer over there near Chicago. Because if it ain't a photo op, if it's not something that she can get visibility from, she's not going to participate in it. That's why they won't mention Lake and Riley's name. Oh, y'all thought that I was going to let that go? That's why they're not going to mention Lake and Riley's name. They're going to have the Central Park 5 over there at the campaign doing their little speeches at the Democratic National Convention. The Central Park 5, let me tell you something about the Central Park 5. Let me tell you why I don't care nothing about them. First of all, they some simps, especially the one that was talking about homegirl Delicious. You know what I'm saying? He got finessed out of a bag. Secondly, they don't have the same smoke for the judges, for the prosecutors, for the people that actually put them in jail, but yet they want to have a conversation about something that they think that Trump said that was taken completely out of context. But they ain't got no smoke for any of the people that actually jailed him and locked them up and threw away the key. If it ain't a photo op, she ain't showing up. Ain't got no conversations about Lake and Riley. Never been accountable for what's happening at the border. Never had no accountability for how they pulled out of Afghanistan. Nothing. Shout out to the Central Park Simps. That's what I call them. I call them the Central Park Simps. Shout out to the Central Park Simps. Oh, y'all don't like that part, huh? Y'all don't like that part. Y'all don't like why? Because I can say what I want to say and I'm not owned by anybody, so don't nobody tell me what to do. Shout out to the Central Park Simps. Out there hanging around, being step baby daddies, being step crash dummies, giving all of y'all money that y'all got in y'all lawsuit away to these chicks that's for the streets. Shout out to the Central Park Simps. Let me hear more.
Listen to me, man or
We got to
woman.
get to Mark Zuckerberg starting to expose the Harris Biden campaign.
triple amputee there today, there to honor the loss of his brothers and sisters. Has she called them to apologize for the decision that they made that resulted in this disastrous withdrawal and an explosion and an attack that took these 13 service members' lives that was completely preventable. Kamala Harris is completely unfit to serve as our commander-in-chief. Voters, regardless of whether you're Democrats or Republicans, need to know that truth, because that's really what this election is about, Judge. It's not about Democrats versus Republicans. Right. It's about having a president who stands for freedom, peace, and prosperity, which is Donald Trump, versus having a president in Kamala Harris who attacks our freedoms and censors us and uses political retaliation, who has pushed us to the brink of war, and who's created this economic hardship for Americans across the country. That's really the choice that we have before us. And for me, as a service member, as a veteran, it's a very clear choice. I love our country. I cherish peace and freedom, and I'm supporting Donald Trump in this election so that he can be our commander-in-chief once again.
You know, it's interesting, Tulsi. CNN today tried to attack Trump for attending the wreath ceremony. Take a listen.
Is he politicizing these
Shout out
soldiers?
to Raymond Santana.
At Arlington National Cemetery.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No.
Politics out of this.
I just look at President Biden, under whose leadership we actually ended and made the tough decision to end our nation's longest war. That was the right decision by President Biden.
You know, I guess the question, Tulsi, should have been, why wasn't Biden in attendance as well? But I want to ask you, just
Shout out to Raymond Santana, the Central Park simp in the building, the biggest simp of them all. Let me show you what it
Hello, sir. How can I be of help today?
I got to make sure that I help y'all realize what's happening. This was him.
I'll send one of our best drivers right away.
Y'all. Hey, I called D. D, that's my homegirl. I done known D for a long time. She used to be here in Detroit all the time. I called D. I said, what's going on, girl? I said, we might have to have a conversation. Anton, I can't have no conversation on. Okay, cool. Don't worry about it. You got it, baby. Get your money. Get your money, baby. Get your Central Park stamp and get it popping. We got to get that government money and bring that back to daddy. Daddy's home.
Hello and welcome.
Yo, what you need? Yeah, player. We'll get it to you.
In the building, I appreciate you for continuing to contribute to Detroit's economy. Let me go ahead and read some. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're gonna continue on with the show. You know what I'm saying? Get that settlement money. He was over there taking care of her children. God, what a Central Park simp. Yes. Ray. I call him Ray. I don't call him Raymond. I call him Ray. What up, Ray? Ray. I am Avery, says best morning show. Let's give it. Yo, I'm going to say what I want to say when I want to say it. It's just a little bit different. That's why they don't want to give me that morning show on a major network. They don't know what I'm going to say. They don't know if I'm going to call them a Central Park or not. Turn Fergberg in the building says, morning, Anton, let's get these. Is the lights low? Oh, no, we got more than 3,000 people in here. The lights is low. Jesus, what is going on out here in these streets? Shout out to A7 Keys in the building says, the Billionaire Morning Show is the most voted morning show daily. Come have a seat at the table with the Chasers. Make sure y'all get y'all Patreon memberships immediately. Where are we at? We should be on a journey to 10K. Because the people is running it up. There's no reason why we should not be past 9K and going towards, okay. We getting there. Journey to 10. They say Anton. Hold on, let me make sure that y'all can see that. I know that the light is a little brighter than usual. They said Anton, you not the biggest. I said where? Who not the biggest? Who's not the biggest? Huh? I got more bag chasers than they got subscribers. Shout out to the Chasers. Come get you some money. Come get you some money, baby. Let's stop being broke out here in these streets and let me show you how to get a bag up. Let's stop being broke out here in these streets and let me show you how to get a bag up. You know what I'm saying? Join the 10K. Make sure, come join the winning team. It's a reason why we winning over here. Let's see what we got going over here. Well-building journey building system. I would say Tulsi will make an excellent Secretary of State in the second Trump administration. Her diplomacy skills are absolutely unparalleled. I think that she's going to get a cabinet seat if Trump wins president of the United States of America. 100%, I think she's going to be a part of his cabinet. Frederico says, about to start work. Bless and abundance to y'all. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Man, Sad Boy Panda says Trump did an hour interview with Sean Ryan, a former Navy SEAL CIA, about the state of the government. I have to check that out. Smalltima, Talltima, Recalltima says, hey, my name is Doug. Hey, Dougie. Shout out to you. J Dove says, we have 17 merchant marine ships being sidelined due to manpower issues. Our Navy is now at risk. And we have a national security issue, and we're not prepared to fight any wars, bro. We participate. A proxy is always good. Country Boy Finesse in the building says, always a great education. Thank you, my friend. I Aspire says, Tulsi looked like one of the 101 Dalmatians villains. Don't she? That is true. Lil Black Duck 2001 says, Trump missed an opportunity by not making Tulsi the VP. No, he didn't. He did it the right way. He's going to win the Midwest, and that's how he had to do it. A-Man01 says, she said once we vote her in, she will close the borders. Interesting. My name is Corey in the building says Central Park 5 got an invite, but not one for Jamal True Love. Miss Salat in the building says she make him look like Detroit one Coney dog. AR Smitty says, did he not see Flavor of Love? Sir Darkness TV is in the building says, don't forget the damn screwed up Benghazi. I know. Facts. We had air assets that could have helped with the enemy waves. Joe Gunn says, bad be on a discount. Give me that money. Live Your Purpose cover says he thought she actually loved him. Love is subjective, baby. Stephen F says, can we get an update on the National Association of Black Journalists on that VP Harris sit down? Ain't no sit downs. Ain't no sit downs, and it's all gonna be softball question. How is it says you touched on taxes in Canada? That was just a tip of the iceberg. Cap gains is now 66% on property sold that is not your primary residence. Shout out to Messi says Bad Chasers is the best community on Patreon. That's a fact. That's a fact, dog. That's a fact. Straight up. Shout out to my dog project. You know I got rich friends, right? You know I got rich friends, right? I did my year sub for the Chasers. We in there. Shout out to my Chasers. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description. You missing out. You missing out. You missing out. I said I was thinking about giving away a cold car this year. A brand new one. No raffles. Just letting the bag chasers pick out who deserve it more. I'm thinking about it. I'll think about it. We'll get there. We'll get there. Let's continue to break down this show. And so we want to get into Mark Zuckerberg. Now, let me share this with you guys before we actually get into the video. Let me share this with you guys. I want to make sure that we all on the same page. So Mark Zuckerberg is now admitting to pressure from the Harris-Biden administration that he had to cave in on censorship on laptops. We all know what that laptop story is. And the pandemic. That he had to push an agenda and then censor things and then slant things towards the left. In order to benefit who?
So like I said before, Donald Trump has never won.
These people, in my personal opinion, are dirty. These people and
lost. Donald Trump don't have no losses.
My personal opinion, are dirty. He's admitting, and it's starting to come out on multiple different platforms. He's admitting that he had to bow to the pressure over the bid, and more. Let's deep dive into it a little bit. Meta boss Mark Zuckerberg says he regrets in a letter he wrote, and it's starting to hit the waves this morning. He said he regrets bowing to
the winner.
what he said was pressure from the.
Because he was cheated in everything that he lost. That's supposed to be that he lost. Because the truth is, he never lost anything.
Biden administration to censor content on Facebook and Instagram during the pandemic. And a letter he sent to the U.S. House Committee chair. That means that you fed up. When you write a whole letter and you send it to the House Committee, the U.S. House, that means that you fed up and you don't want to be bothered no more. You tired of being pressured. You tired of being told what to do. You tired of being controlled. You tired of being manipulated and controlling what's happening during these administrations and during these elections. He said senior officials, including some from the White House, pressured Meta to remove content in 2021. Goes on to say the White House has defended its actions, saying it encouraged responsible actions to protect public health and safety. Mark Zuckerberg also said his firm briefly demoted content relating to Joe Biden's son. Let me say that again. Mr. Zuckerberg said that his firm briefly demoted content related to Joe Biden's son, Hunter, ahead of the 2020 election after the FBI warned of a potential Russian disinformation operation. Question: is this not election interference?
Yes, it is.
Do we not see senior officials from the White House pressuring him? Because I want to know if y'all think that all of these people is just so awesome and oh my God, we love you, Joe, and it had the "We love you, Joe," and Kamala Harris is up there like this, as she pushed them over the edge out of the White House. The content did not turn out to be a part of such operation, Mr. Zuckerberg said. Addressing the vid content, Mr. Zuckerberg wrote in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain vid content, including humor and satire. We made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. He said that he and Meta would be ready to push back if something similar happened in the future. His letter was addressed to Jim Jordan, the chair of House Judiciary Committee, which has been investigating content moderation on online platforms. Republicans said the letter was a big win for free speech. He said in a statement issued to website Politico, the White House stood by its actions. It said, our position has been clear and consistent. We believe tech companies and private actors should take into account the effects that their actions have on the American people while making independent choices about the information they present. Let's go into the Hunter Biden conversation. Mr. Zuckerberg's comments on Hunter Biden referred to the story of a laptop that was abandoned by the president's son at a repair shop in Delaware, as first reported by the New York Post. The paper claimed emails found on the computer suggested that his business abroad had influenced U.S. foreign policy while his father was vice president. Wait a minute. I thought that the vice president, according to Flash, bullshit, baby. I thought that the vice president would control over what is happening as far as policy, casting final votes or tie-breaking votes. I thought that they didn't determine what happened in foreign policy. I thought that Kamala Harris had no say-so on what was going on in foreign relations at our border, that she wasn't the border czar, that she gets no credit for anything that happens in the White House. She was just existing. The newspaper claimed emails found by the computer suggested that his business abroad had influenced U.S. foreign policy while his father was the vice president. Goes on to say the president and his family has denied wrongdoing. The story became notable. Right-wing talking point in the U.S. point of contention as some social media platforms censored the content. I wonder why. I wonder why they censored the content. We've changed our policies and processes to make sure, in retrospect, they said they shouldn't have demoted the story, and they've changed their policies and processes to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Wow.
He also said that he did not plan to make any more contributions to supporting electoral.
But no one will be held accountable for what they did.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, I know the election is over with, but look at all the damage that was done. Done.
In 2020, he donated $400 million via his philanthropic Chan Zuckerberg's initiative, which is intended to help the government offices conduct the election during the pandemic. My goal is to be neutral and not play a role on one way or another, or to even appear to be playing a role. So I don't plan on making similar contributions to this during this election cycle. In my opinion, let me just play the content. Let me play the stories. I want to get reactions to this. Obviously, we know that certain platforms are not going to play this at all, but I want to get reactions to this. Let me go ahead and play the content, and y'all can determine for yourself what's happening out in these streets. It's unfortunate. It's absolutely unfortunate.
Mark Zuckerberg admitting Facebook was pushed by the Biden-Harris administration to censor Americans' content. In a letter sent to the House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, the Meta CEO explained, quote, in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. Ennis Cantor Freedom is a human rights activist, former NBA player, and he joins me now. Ennis, great to see you as always. Rings a little hollow to me 4 years after the fact. What are your thoughts?
Thank you for having me. I mean, it's good for him that he finally came out and said something, but I think it's a little too late, buddy. This is, to me, this is an election interference and treason. Yep. I hear many people saying that this is a crime against humanity.
Yep.
The question is, I actually want to ask to our audience, does he actually regret it, or is it because he got caught? I think Meta and Mark Zuckerberg should be held accountable for interfering in our election. And please do not let him off the hook.
And everybody that tried to get us censored and it worked need to be fired too.
They knew what they were doing.
Fired too, yes.
And they thought they can expect to get away with it. I mean, this is complete and direct violation of the First Amendment, and it is unacceptable.
Well, the mea culpas didn't stop there from Zuckerberg. He also mentioned suppressing information, speaking of, election interference, about Hunter Biden's laptop. But bigger picture here, Ennis, what do you make of this general acceptance by the left and the governments that are leftist, if you will, to censor speech and basically to use the government and the courts in order to do so? I'm looking at what's happening over in France with the Telegram CEO, and it's almost like if the left doesn't agree with something, they're not confident anymore just saying, oh, we don't like that, stop it. They're going to use their power to stop it. What do you make of that?
I mean, exactly, they're not confident enough. I mean, I'm so happy that, Elon Musk finally, took over Twitter. And now we can actually have some free speech in our world, not only in our country, but in our world. This is getting pretty crazy, but to me, this is definitely unacceptable.
It's not right. Speaking of something that's unacceptable to you, the NBA's relationship with China. Well, those ties are back under the microscope after stars Jimmy Butler, James Harden, Paul George, Tom Kuzma played in a game in Hong Kong, shooting hoops under the Chinese flag, and our government's endorsing it. U.S. Ambassador to China, Nicholas Bird, stating, quote, basketball is a bridge between Americans and Chinese. Thank you, Jason Collins and Sam Vincent, both former Boston Celtics, for your terrific work in China for the U.S. mission. As a former Boston Celtic yourself, my friend, will the NBA, or quite frankly, the Biden-Harris administration, ever acknowledge the true threat that China is to America, or are the Bucks coming in just too nice to ignore?